Yo, what's up guys? My name's Jake Ryan, for those of y'all that don't know me, and I'm going to be going over today how to become a high ticket closer, a full in-depth step-by-step guide, what to do, how to actually take actionable steps to become successful in this industry. I made a video about this before back in I think it was June, but obviously since then I've gained about 100,000 followers on Instagram and a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube and a couple thousand followers on TikTok. So I'm just going to do a remake of that video, but go a lot more in depth than this one. So obviously the first thing, what is high ticket closing or high ticket sales, is basically just the same name. So high ticket closing, you're selling expensive products, and usually these packages start at like $3K and they could go all the way up to $50,000. And you're only selling to people who already want to buy. And you may be like, oh, what are we selling? Don't worry, I'll get into that in a little bit. But here are the pros about this. You don't find customers at all. They come to you pre-qualified, and you work from home or remote, wherever you want to go, on phone/video calls. So basically Google Meets and Zoom calls. And you also earn 10 to 20% commission per sale. So let's say you sell a package for $20,000. On that one sale with the guy who's already financially qualified, already warm, and already wants to buy, you're making $3,000 to $4,000 commission. And top closers make around, $20K to $75K a month. And so this is how the industry works. You're basically just selling for creators or influencers, whatever you want to call them, it's all the same thing. Here's the process. 1, companies run ads or marketing, which generates leads. The second step is prospects watch webinars, or they fill out type forms and link in bios, all that stuff, and they fill out applications. 3, the qualified prospects that actually have enough money get booked into strategy calls where we actually try to sell them by a setter. And setters get paid around 5 to 8% commission for everything that they set that gets closed. But we're not trying to be a setter here. The real money's made with being a closer. So then the 4th step is you get on the call to close the deal. And then the 5th step, you obviously earn commission when they buy. So common industries is like business coaching or consulting, online courses and education, real estate investing programs, health/fitness coaching, digital marketing services, and trading/investment education. So like for business coaching or consulting, it would basically be an influencer trying to sell a package that basically scales you as a creator. Online courses and education, this is basically all that we're selling for creators on the back end. Real estate investment programs, basically saying I'll teach you the ins and outs of real estate, just pay me $10K. And then health and fitness coaching for people, selling like a $5,000 program, teaching people how to get fit and giving them a diet plan, all that stuff. Digital marketing services, this could be like selling a course on how to run ads. And then trading investment, this is like TJR. You guys all know who that is. He sells a day trading course. And then so this is the difference between high ticket sales and traditional sales. In high ticket sales or high ticket closing, you work remote. You can work from your home, you can work from the beach, you can work from the gym, wherever you want. It's all remote. All you need is your laptop or your phone. That's it. All these leads are pre-qualified and want to buy. No one gets booked into your calendar if they don't have the money. And again, these products range from $3,000 to $50,000, 10 to 20% commission. You do the math on that. Let's say you get about 1 to 3 calls a day, which is not a lot at all. You usually get like 6 to 8. But let's say you only get 1 to 3, and average close rate is still 30%. So if you can just close 1 out of the 3, you're still making money, at least like $300 to $500 every day. And we're basically just selling as if we're consultants. They're telling us what's wrong with their life right now or their business, and we give them advice and tell them how we would help them here. You're basically just helping them take that next step to get them out of the situation that they're currently in now. And always remember, if they're on the call, they're on the call for a reason. They don't like their current situation. Never let someone tell you on a sales call that, oh, I'm just here just looking. No, they're here to buy. That's the only reason they booked in. They want to make a change in their life. You have to get them to make that change. And then we compare it to regular sales, like door-to-door sales. You have to be in person, physical presence is required. It's a lot of cold prospects, lots of rejection, and that rejection can get demotivating. It's not hard going to 100 doors every single day and maybe only selling 1 of them. Also, these products are under $1,000. You get low commission and it's high volume. You're in the hot sun and you have the pressure of making an immediate decision right in front of someone's face. It's a lot different on the laptop than it is in person. Then we have life insurance sales, regulated financial products. You're basically just selling $100 packages to grannies and grandpas. And it takes a long time to build a good relationship with these people and actually sell them. Most of the time, life insurance, you can't just do 1 call, 1 close. And you have to worry about ongoing premiums, chargebacks, instead of just one-time sales. And let's say you sell a policy, right? You have residual income over time. what, you're making $30 a month off one person. I mean, what even is that? And there's also a bunch of compliance requirements that you have to follow. It's just not it anymore. Anyone telling you that they're making over $10,000 a month in life insurance, they're doing a pyramid scheme. They're bringing in reps. They're the top of the pyramid, and then they bring people in. They have people under them. They take commission off what they sell. Then those people in the second level bring in more people. Then the top guy still takes commissions off all these guys, and then these guys bring in more people. It's just a straight pyramid. That's the only way you actually make money in life insurance. So if you're in door-to-door, B2B, life insurance, get out of it. Just come to High Ticket Sales. And here's a step-by-step process on how you can actually make the transition. So this is phase 1, obviously the foundation. This is weeks 1 to 4. In the first 2 weeks, you just learn the basics of sales. You study sales psychology and buyer behavior. You understand value-based selling, practice active listening skills, and learn basic objection handling. This is some pretty easy stuff, especially if you're already in sales. You basically already know this. Then in weeks 3 and 4, you choose your niche. You pick 2 to 3 industries that interest you, and you can outreach to people in those industries, or you can pay someone that has a lot of connections with people in that industry to help you get placed on an offer that's in that industry. I personally place like over 5 to 10 people every single day on offers. And placement's not a job board. Placement is actually putting you directly in a group chat with an offer owner that needs a setter, needs a closer. Then you research market demand and commission rates. Obviously, commission rates vary from offer owner to offer owner, but if you're really good, they're gonna give you a good commission. I give my best rep 20%, and you may be asking why. That's crazy. It's because he's really good, and I don't want to lose him. I don't want to have to train a new guy over and over and over again, so I'm paying him good because I know what he's worth. And if you're that good, someone like me will pay you. And then you just have to understand the target customer's problems. Like a lot of guys in regular sales come to us just for the fact that it's remote. Who doesn't want to do remote work? It's the best. You can travel, you can be at home, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, basically. And then this is phase 2, weeks 5 to 12. This is where you actually build skills. You master a sales framework, whether that's NEPQ or spin selling. NEPQ is basically just neuro-emotional persuasion questions, all about asking questions that get people to feel emotional and make emotional decisions, because naturally as humans, we act off emotions. We never really act off logic. So if you can get someone to bring up pain and feel a lot of emotions on the call, it's going to be a lot easier for you to sell them. But not necessarily you sell them, they sell themselves, because they're feeling so much pain right now and they don't want to keep living the life that they've been living. Think about it. Whenever you're mad and whenever you're angry, you do something in the moment that you're probably gonna regret later. Maybe 30 minutes later you calm down and you're like, damn, I can't believe I did that. That was so stupid. You normally wouldn't make that decision, but you only did because you were in an emotional state. So that's NEPQ, basically getting people to act off emotion. Honestly, I think NEPQ is probably the best strategy to go down and the best one to learn, so I'm not even going to go over these other ones like spin selling or the Sandler sales systems or the Challenger sales method. If you want to sell more, just bring out more emotion in people. So I would say the best style is NEPQ. Obviously, you don't have to do that. Everyone sells differently, but that's my recommendation to you. And then you have a daily practice routine. So you do 30 minutes of role-playing objections, either with a friend or with ChatGPT. Especially if you have no one to mock call with, don't sleep on this. And then do another 30 minutes listening to successful call recordings. Obviously, don't get too caught up in this. Listening to call recordings is good, but actually doing it is way better than listening to any calls, because the only way you ever get better at anything is just experience. You have to fail, you have to mess up, and you have to learn from your failures. Then do like 15 minutes practicing your voice and tone. Tone is probably one of the most important things you can have, and it's pretty hard to learn, so you have to practice at this a lot. Obviously, it's not end all be all, but it'll definitely help you close more. And then lastly, study successful closers online. Again, don't get caught up in studying or watching or reading. That'll actually push you to where you want to get to a lot faster. And then here are some key sales skills to develop. I mean, maybe you already have some of these. 1, reading emotional cues, asking discovery questions, things like what are you currently doing? How long have you been doing that for? And also in discovery, you want to financially qualify them again, just to make sure that you're not wasting any time. So one way I would do this, without asking them how much money do you have, I would be like, okay, man, like what's your goal? How much money do you want to make a month? And then once they give me a specific answer, I'd be like, okay, man, I mean, how far are you from that right now? And then boom, from there, you can kind of qualify them. If you need to dig deeper, dig a little bit deeper. And then learn how to handle price objections, which we teach you that. But literally every objection you're going to get at the end of the call, we have an answer for it. Think about it. Partner or parents, money, I understand, but I think I could do it on my own. You guys get the point. And then you got to create urgency without creating pressure. So again, it's kind of like asking NEPQ questions that make them feel like they want to change right now without being salesy. So don't tell them what they need. Ask them what they need, and then they say it out loud. They sell themselves. And then learn how to follow up. I actually make a lot of money off follow-ups. Follow-ups are super key. And then this is phase 3, weeks 9 through 16, actually getting hired. And this is where you can actually find jobs or roles in high ticket sales. 1, a job board, which doesn't work because you're competing with a bunch of other programs. Like imagine you apply for something and you have no experience. Are you gonna expect to hear anything back from them? Absolutely not. So job boards don't necessarily work unless you already have experience. The second one is LinkedIn sales positions, which is basically a 9-to-5, B2B, corporate, whatever you want to call it. 3, Facebook groups like high ticket closers. It just doesn't work. I've had one of my boys try to get on an offer through there and he got scammed. The 4th way is you can directly outreach to coaching companies. But most of the time, the person that you're actually outreaching to isn't reading your DM, it's a setter. So why would a setter be like, this guy wants my job, I'll go give it to him. Hey offer owner, this guy seems pretty good. It just doesn't make sense at all. So outreach is kind of dead. Obviously you can still land a role through it. It's just really hard. And then the 5th way is sales recruitment agencies, which is basically what we do. We recruit people that are already in sales or want to get into sales and basically transition them into high ticket sales, actually get them on a roll and actually place them in a group chat with an offer owner. And then this is phase 4 where you actually succeed. And this isn't going to happen overnight. Your first month or your first 2 months, it's going to suck. It's going to be hard. Like the first 30 days, you're going to have to learn company sales processes inside and out. You're gonna be pretty busy. You're also gonna have to know and study the product or service that you're selling thoroughly. It helps a lot more when you actually know what you're selling. Then the offer owner is basically gonna make you listen to a bunch of other successful call recordings just so you know how to pitch, you know the deliverables, all that stuff. Then 4, you practice the company scripts daily. Obviously, you don't ever just want to use a script fully, but you want to get a framework that you know will work. And you can build your own framework off the script that they give you. And then you're gonna have to watch and shadow the top performers, basically just go under their wing. And then the 2nd and 3rd month, you start to find your rhythm. You start to adapt those scripts to your personality, and again, not necessarily scripts, but frameworks. Making sure you hit this point on the call, this point on the call, this point on the call. And then you actually develop your own objection handling style. Track metrics and performance, and then seek feedback from all the sales managers. Ask them what you've done good and ask them what you can do better. Then in months 4 to 6, you just scale and you optimize. Refine your best techniques. Always look to learn something new, because I can guarantee you, you will never be perfect. I will never be perfect. There's always going to be something new to learn from someone else. Build consistent daily habits. Obviously, this isn't just in sales, but this is also in other aspects of your life. When you upgrade basically your entire life, you're just going to get way better at selling naturally. And then 3, focus on call quality over quantity. I'd rather take 7 good calls in a day that take me an hour than 14 calls that are okay that take me 30 minutes each. Because in that hour-long call, I can actually really dig deep and find out what they want and why they haven't gotten it yet, and what's actually going to get them there. And then the last one, obviously this is really important, again, develop follow-up systems. Follow-ups are key, especially in this space. Whether you're a setter, whether you're a closer, you have to consistently follow up. And then here's like some income expectations. Obviously these can vary. So obviously your first 6 months, it really depends. Some people get base pay, some people don't, but around like 0 to 3K a month. And as a beginner, your commission's like 8 to 12%. So your monthly earnings could be like $3,000 to $15,000 a month. It truly just depends on how much you show up and how hard you work. And you're expected to close around like 10 to 15 deals a month. And after that first 6 months, now you're experienced. Now you know what to do. You also know what not to do. You know what works. You also know what doesn't work. You'll usually get a base like 2K to 5K a month, and then your commission's usually like 12 to 18%. Your monthly earnings, you could make $8,000 to $30,000 a month as a closer, taking calls from only warm leads. And your KPI targets are probably gonna be like 20 to 30 deals a month. Now you're a senior, you're basically an expert. You've been doing this for over a year and a half. Your base could be around like 4K to 8K a month. Your commission could be 15 to 25%. And your monthly earnings could go from 15K a month to 75K a month. And for these, you're gonna close less because you're gonna be selling for way higher ticket packages. So things minimum like $10,000. And these are just some red flags to avoid. Obviously, there are some scam companies out there. There are some people that won't pay you. But But that's not a lot of people in the industry. That's like a very small 0.1%. But watch out for people guaranteeing specific income amounts. They don't have a legitimate product or service to sell. Make sure the person you're selling for has a lot of testimonials and a proven product. And they have unrealistic promises like 10K in your first week. Really? Like that just doesn't necessarily make sense. Also, make sure that you get contracts with everyone that you're working with so you're guaranteed to get paid. And here are some bad opportunities to sell for, 100% commission with no training, selling questionable and illegal products, no clear compensation structure, basically how you'll get paid, and there's a high employee turnover rate, which basically means a lot of people quit and a lot of people just get recycled. So that's basically a more in-depth full guide on how to actually start and become a remote closer or get into high ticket sales. It's all the same thing. So obviously if you want to work with me and my team, I put a form in the description. If you want to fill it out, cool. If not, I don't care. But yeah, I really hope you guys got some value out of this video, and I hope you guys actually take action and get one step closer to becoming and aligning with who you want to become.